see on a bigger camera.
Oh, yeah, maybe I've seen that.
It's a little crazy, but
I got one of the I have like a little light thing, but anyway, I got like a Zoom
recorder
lens.
Zoom
that
lens,
I can,
okay.
Connect to the iPhone. There's a zoom and then like a panoramic, depending on how you put it on.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many little cool, simple things like that.
So
for phones. Episode 1 of We Talks?
This is episode probably like 8 or...
8, okay.
So, yeah. So this is Lawson. We're having some we time.
And she taught me forever ago.
That's right.
And how old was I?
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, 5 years old. Wow.
When's your birthday?
January 31st.
And 6. So you were probably turned 6.
Yeah.
The last year.
Yeah. Gosh. Wow. That's crazy.
Lawson was on the couch so Lawson is a good friend of my daughter and was on the couch, and now we're having coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Slept on the couch. So I was telling Lawson about we time, because we were having some we time. And then we were talking about yoga. And Lawson said, oh, wow, would you say yoga is a way of life?
And she was like, yeah.
It is.
I've never thought of yoga as more than an activity, but I definitely see how it is a lifestyle coming from you, and also just observing how I see how you live and things around your home as well that all represent, I feel like, what yoga tries to do for yourself, taking care of yourself. So yeah.
And we were just saying, like, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard. It's a hard practice. It can be, until it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy until it's hard.
Right. Would you say yoga is easy for you now since you've been doing it so long? Or is it still something to think about and commit to every day?
Well, it's like, is life easy? You know, is living easy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You get into a routine, but then something comes up, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, there are things that are, like I can hold downward facing dog for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I first started, like, I do actually remember being in Atlanta. I took Iyengar yoga classes there. And I was in this class one morning, and we did downward facing dog, and we probably held it for like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And you were like, that's not enough.
No, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm going to die.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It was so hard. I was like, oh my God. And now, you know, like, I could just hold her for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the most comfortable position for me. I don't know. It's been a while, though.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So the other thing is that about, in terms of we time and what that is for me, is that there was a period where I felt very disconnected last summer and depressed. And, thought like, oh my God, like, I've been practicing yoga for so long, and like, what is the problem? And it's like, there's no problem, you know, like, I just have a particular, you know, like, it was just a phase, you know, that people
go through.
Spiritual people, a lot of spiritual people actually go through.
Yeah.
And so I realized, though, I felt very disconnected, and I was so sad, and I would, like, or just whatever, like, hormone anxious, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, I would go and I would to teach a class or to do something, and like, I could not hold it together. I just, like, would start crying. And so told people like what was going on with me, and then they shared with me what you know, their own stories of like, and so you know, I realized, like, at a time that I felt very disconnected, like, it was just, you know, and it's all about you. Everything is all about you, because it's your body, it's you as a body perceiving and having your thoughts and stuff. But yeah, so I thought, well, you know, this would be fun, you know, just to connect with people and record it and because that's what I did, you know, like, realize, like, I'm connected to tons of people.
It's very easy for me personally to feel disconnected from others and make myself feel like I'm alone or lonely, when in reality, that's not true. It's just, I've been spending too much time in my room or something, or, you know, I've been too consumed by work. And, that was definitely a period in time for me last year where I was having friends like, Lawson, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. Like, what's up? I'm like, oh, gosh,
Yeah.
I do have friends.
Right.
But
just because people aren't telling you that they're thinking about you,
right,
doesn't mean that they're not, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when you get in that state, it's hard to reach out, and it just kind of perpetuates itself until someone kind of reaches in. Maybe I found that to be true, or like you take a break from like your daily routine or something. Like this over the summer, I felt a similar way this summer, where I was like, I can't keep living my life. Like, I gotta leave Asheville. I gotta leave and go do something fun, take a break, and I did that. And it was definitely taking a break from life. I feel like is always a good idea. So I took a trip and saw friends and
good.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I came back feeling refreshed more so and ready to take on like this like school semester is happening right now.
Yeah.
So
even a day or two, just like going away, going to the beach for the day, it's like just a change of scene, and that can be very refreshing.
Yeah. It's been going on a hike or something, just something I don't do enough. And like where I'm living now in Asheville, I hate that I don't take advantage of nature as much because I'm so close to so much. Like, you drive an hour or less.
Yeah.
You can be somewhere really secluded.
Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Never do it, though.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say something now. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Connection, disconnection.
Like the end goal. Oh, well, like there's a lot of shoulds, like we use that language a lot in our culture, like should and supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm supposed to do this. Or even I have to do this, I think yoga is also, we were talking about, sort of, you have to just do your dharma, your, like, follow your path and your purpose. And when you don't do that, you just fall out of alignment, so to speak, in yoga, if you're not, but also, peace of mind, like you fall out of the path toward, or just the experience of just peace, being at peace, and that's really what yoga is about. And I was saying, like, it's an expression, it's an experience. Yoga is an experience of like being completely
focused on you,
free. Of like like it's an experience of being completely present, like there's no like thoughts or
right.
Like you're
being
just
in the present is what you said. Yeah.
In the way I feel, it's like expansive, like it's hard to explain. It's like just a feeling of that's my best expression.
That's yoga right there. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah. And so like initially,
that's your promotional video.
Right. Oh, God. Yeah. But like the ultimate goal, if we were saying, and I was saying the ultimate goal is like, so all kids and people learn actually what yoga is. Like there are physical practices, which is basically yoga mostly, and when like scripture talks about yoga, is mostly like ways to.
What scripture?
Like the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and there's the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And then like these, like the Vedas, are good scripture, and there's just Bhagavad Gita. Did I say that?
I've definitely heard of that one. I studied it in school.
Yeah, and so that's like that's like that. I think that's fun. That's a fun part of to read that stuff and sort of say like, well, that was written way back then, and like that doesn't really apply now, or like how does that apply now? Because some of the stuff is, you have to take the cultural context and the time that it was written into consideration. But like the Bhagavad Gita is really great, you know, because it's this great story, and the Ramayana is a really great story, and I love like thinking about those stories as metaphors, and like all stories.
That's
are,
the
like,
best way to perceive older. I feel
any
like
religious text,
yeah,
or like spiritual text is like,
don't take it too literally. Try to apply it to modern times, and definitely.
What does that really mean?
Yeah,
you know,
it's trick or beard.
Yeah, like in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is it's like it's Krishna consciousness, you know, it's like our elevated awareness. That's the representation of Krishna consciousness, and Krishna is a representation of the life force, or whatever the sort of energetic force or the quality of maintaining life. Like that's what Krishna represents, you know, and like, so doing what you need to do to maintain a good life, you know, to stay alive.
But to stay just alive or more than alive?
Just
feel like
to be happily alive, like not harming, you know, healthily alive.
Yeah.
You know, and to serve and to do, you know, it's like doing any action. Are you doing it to, you know, for selfish reasons, or to like promote life, or to destroy life, or to, you know, what is, you know, and we want to actually do it to promote life.
Right. I feel like many of our actions in our world right now, whether we know it or not, are destroying life and destroying our world. But it's hard to avoid, and saying that in a very indirect sense. Everything we do is harming the world in some way.
Well, and we have choices, you know, and that's what yoga teaches, that we understand that we actually are co-creating these things, like through our actions. And so we have choices. We always will have like shadow, you know, like there's always going to be sort of this possibility of evil, or like shadow or negative, you know, acting not in line with supporting life, you know. That's always a choice. Sometimes we make that choice. Sometimes the consequence of that, you know, we feel way down the line. Sometimes we feel it immediately, right? You drink too much, you have a hangover, you have pain, like you can do that again, you're gonna have pain. You know, it's like, do I want to have pain, or do I want to feel good when I wake up, you know? Not to mention the, you know, distant consequences of that.
Yeah.
But like going back to metaphor and the Bhagavad Gita, so Arjuna is being told by Krishna like what yoga is about, and like the different ways to experience yoga. But the whole story is about Arjuna. Like Krishna says to Arjuna that he has to go into war because he's a warrior, he's a fighter, and that's his dharma, right? His purpose, like and he's very good at it. And then he goes and he sees that it's his family that he's fighting. It's like this other like side of his family, and he's like, I can't go kill my family. You know, and Krishna's like, well, you have to, like, it's your dharma. And he's like, but I like, explain that to me, you know. And so Krishna's like, okay, I will explain it to you. And so it was like it's a metaphor. Like his family is like all that shit, all this shadow stuff. It's like all of our conditioning. It's like all of the negative stuff we say about ourselves. It's all of our limiting beliefs. It's like all of our cultural conditioning. It's all of our traumas that hold us back. Like that's our family, because we begin to feel comfortable with that. That's what we know.
Damn. Yeah.
Right?
And it's hard to
and we're like, I don't want to
destroy that.
Like, who am I then?
Even though you may not realize it's you know, it's bad for you. It is, in letting go of your, you know, vices.
Like, you know, it feels bad, but it also feels comfortable.
Yeah, or it might feel good, but you know it's bad or something, you know. Yeah, it's the ways of life you get stuck in, and it's hard to get out of those. Once you get too far into a hole, it's hard to climb out of it.
So that's what yoga's all about.
Climbing out of the hole? letting go of evil, letting go of your shadows.
Like saying like, you know, this is familiar. This is like I this feeling of anxiety is like, I'm familiar. Like this this is what I feels right.
Embracing negative emotions like that, like embracing anxiety.
And it's like
what is
being aware and say,
yeah.
what is this telling me? And like, this is my familiar feeling, but ultimately, like a big one for me, I mean, like, is like being late, which is, I have ADD, like the way my brain works, and like other people are like me, which I found, but it's
good. Yeah, it's definitely something. Yeah.
But there are consequences, and and that's one of my sort of conditioned feelings that I haven't completely slain, But that's what it's talking about. That's the metaphor of the Bhagavad Gita, is that Arjuna is like killing his family, but it's like, if you take that literally, it's like, don't be limited. You have to look a little deeper. It's about the internal family,
Letting go of those bad relatives.
Yeah. Yeah, which is scary, because there's like, well, what's going to be left, But that's
how many of those
the jewel.
How many of your bad feeling members make up who you are, and who will you be once you let go of them?
Right, and that's the scary part, right? And that's where Krishna says, you have to have faith. And one of my teachers, Iyengar, wrote in Light on Yoga, he said, if people ask me if I have to believe in God to practice yoga, and you absolutely don't have to, he said, but I ask them, do you believe in yourself? And that's what we were talking about. Like, do you believe in the existence of yourself? Because if you don't, like you're here, like, do you feel? And that's what we were talking about, like being in the present moment, feeling your body, like, oh, well, yeah. I mean, I can perceive, like, I'm breathing, and like I see these colors, and and I feel something when so like at this point, like, I believe that I exist in somehow.
For all we know, though, this is a simulation, and none of this is real.
But it's real enough, It's
real to us, so that's all that matters. Yeah.
It's real to me, which is really all that matters.
Right. Yeah. We shouldn't think too hard about that. Yeah. Sorry. Maybe that's some of my nihilism coming through.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like, the big goal is for people to really be empowered by saying, like, this is real. This is what's happening. Like, my foot's a little bit cold. Like, I hear your voice. I feel pretty comfortable. I'm not in pain. This is what's real right now. So that when we, and it's like when we get carried away with thinking, about the past or the future or something else, or like the possibilities, that
thinking about existence too hard.
We can have a reaction. Yeah, like this emotional reaction, and it's like, well,
do I even really matter?
Right. That can be like a really, but it's like, well, I matter right now.
Yeah.
Because, I hope I matter to me.
I matter to me too.
I matter. You matter to me. Well, that's a good ending.
That's a good ending.
Yeah.
I think we both have to go to our.
Oh, we do. Oh, we're so late. Oh, bye.
12:55.